The following is a production of WEGL 91.1 FM.
That ball is gone. It's a walk-off home run for Stephen Williams.
WEGL Sports,
The Tigers are headed to the College World Series.
where every
Touchdown Auburn! Zakoby McClain!
game
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow!
lives. Strap in. It's time for the Extra Point, Auburn's best sports talk radio show, Auburn's only sports talk TV show.
He better count basketball wins.
Your three-time nationally nominated sports show.
Oh, yeah.
And they signed Cody Parkey.
SEC champion, Cody Parkey.
I picked Pitt, and I was right. Your three-time nationally nominated sports show, the guys give you the latest.
Penn State.
by a million.
Thank you.
Even John Gruden cried after he traded Khalil Mack, and now he's dancing in the locker room, saying he wish he had a disco.
Call in at 334-844-9345 to join the debate. My boy got it
Oh,
on
I thought
lock.
you were saying 1,800 yards in this game. I was like, Jared.
The X's and O's begin now on Eagle Eye TV and WEGO Radio. The Extra Point presented by WEGO Sports, where every game lives. And welcome inside the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 and Eagle Eye TV. Hello, everybody. Jared Dillon, and joining me from wherever they may be at is Bay Marks, Davis Carroll, Jacob Hillman, and Alex Houston. Alex, we'll go to you first. First, how are those box of wheat thins? And second, how you doing?
First of all, it's a bag. The box is
Whatever.
recycling here. Come on.
He's got water because they know they're bland.
That may be true. And I'm doing great.
All right, thank you. Jacob Hillman. Jacob, how about you?
I've been enjoying the good weather the past weekend because I was out playing golf, but now it's raining. So
Did you
there's your
record? Did you
Go ahead.
record a YouTube video and upload it to YouTube of you playing golf? Maybe at your house, maybe cheering a lot.
no.
Davis, how you doing today?
I'm just chilling. I took a power nap in a hammock earlier. Let's chill.
And finally, day 23. Bay, how you doing today?
Doing good, staying busy. Went to class today, then got a good workout in, and then I came on to the Extra Point, so I'm ready to rock and roll with it.
Ready to rock and roll. If you want to ask any questions on the show, you can by going to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube and asking a question in the comment section. It'll come through here on this monitor next to me, and we'll answer your questions live on the show. Dealing with the NFL, NBA, MLB, anything in the sports world that you have a question about, we will answer. There's a lot of things going on in the sports world right now. There's MLB, and they're talk about starting back maybe in May. And some kind of cool things that are happening around baseball around the world. There's the Buccaneers new uniform. There's some NFL news. The NBA on, well, the NBA may be looking to just end their season. A lot of stuff to talk about. And I'll let you guys decide where you want to go first. I know the big talk before the show was the Buccaneers new uni. Is that where we want to go?
I think you forgot about how I asked what y'all's favorite food was and nobody answered. So
I answered.
I answered too. We talking.
I didn't hear. What'd y'all say?
I said
said
What, you
spaghetti.
said steak. What did Alex say?
I said spaghetti.
Oh, what a lame answer.
To answer your question, Jared, I think we should go with the uniforms just because we're uniform junkies on this show.
I was having a fight over this.
Jared, you don't have to abuse them because someone else is.
Yeah, I told you I got shooters everywhere.
Hey, Davis.
So,
Will.
hello, Will. Let's go ahead and get into the Buccaneers' new uniform. So they released new uniforms today. What are the initial reactions of the Buccaneers' new uniform?
I mean,
They're
they're
good.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of underwhelmed.
Well,
It's
they're
an
the same
improvement.
thing as they used to be.
Yeah, I thought it was
They're
gonna
all
be like
uniforms,
something
which is
new.
good.
I think that they're definitely an improvement. My biggest takeaway that I hate about this uniform is the gray alternates, and also the fact that they have
trash.
2 pairs of gray pants.
Yeah.
The only difference is the gold stripe.
Can,
That's the only difference.
can somebody look up the official color of that shade.
The name of it. I'll give it a shot, but honestly,
the orange.
Oh,
no, it's talking about the gray, whatever it is.
I can tell you. Hold on. I can tell you.
because y'all said gray, and I was like, I didn't see like a gray. I was looking for like an actual like gray. I didn't see gray.
Okay, that is their color rush uniform, by the way.
That it is that grayish brownish.
That's what their account tweeted out.
Oh no!
If
The
the
fact that they
Bucs
didn't have
and
any
the
creamsicle jersey sucks, but
yeah, but that's like some with the NFL and their like mandates where you can't have like multiple alternate helmets. And,
Yeah.
like
They're making a move to get rid of that rule, though.
yeah, which is good for a lot of teams too. I mean, a lot of teams have very cool helmet designs from the past, specifically the Bucs with the old creamsicle jerseys, which I thought were pretty great, despite the fact they looked a little strange.
Hey, that's what I thought they were gonna go with. They were gonna bring back the creamsicle uniforms, which I don't know how people would have felt about that.
it's
but
called pewter,
Pewter.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Pewter.
Pewter.
is there any synonyms for that that I know of?
Gray.
When you Google it, a pot comes up.
A pot?
Yes.
So it's like I guess like a clay pot, kind of those things.
The definition: a gray alloy of tin with copper and tin. I can't say that word. Formerly tin and lead.
Hey, reading's hard. I told you guys.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay, but the thing is like they have two of those pewter pants, and the only difference is on one of them they have a white stripe, and on the other one it's a creamsicle colored stripe. Like, I would have rather just had the white stripe, but the helmets look good. I like the helmets.
Yeah, my thing with it was with the Bucs is like there were a lot of teams that changed their jerseys just to change them, and the Bucs I never really thought that they needed to. Like their jerseys that they got like in the late '90s and wore them till like 2013, I thought they were pretty good. And the one thing that I thought was good about their new uniforms is that they enlarged the logo on their helmets, and they kept those helmets around now, which I thought was good. But I'm glad they switched back to the old ones. I don't think there was a problem.
What Jared said earlier, he was talking about before the show, like the new secondary logo being the shift that's all black. But on the uniforms, they have the ship on the shoulders below the number and the Nike symbol, but it's the red ship. So
Maybe they'll change that. But
oh, wait, no, that's on different jerseys. I'm sorry. They have a black one on the white jersey, and then the former red one on like the gray jerseys.
Bucs are killing us.
I guess so it stands out more. They have the red one. Maybe they'll switch out between which one looks better as they go along with that. But I mean, go ahead.
What are the other teams changing jerseys? It's the Browns, the Falcons.
Man, get the Browns out of here. Throw them in the garbage. I don't want to see that. We're gonna tint their helmet a little bit darker again.
They're rumored to go back to the old ones before their jersey switch as well.
So
like the ones from like 2010 with like Colt McCoy and Brady Quinn.
So they're gonna tint it lighter. They went darker. They're gonna go back lighter. That's what's gonna happen.
I don't know. It's the worst color combo in sports. There's not really much they can do with it.
Well, tell the Browns to stop being stupid. As far as any other, are the Falcons getting new jerseys? Have they confirmed that?
Yep.
Okay, they are.
Yeah,
they're confirmed to be getting new jerseys and unveiling them.
That helmet was fake
sometime as
though.
well.
So
that photo was not real. That was a rumored leaked version of them. But I don't know. I thought they were gonna go back to like the ones from like the 90s.
You mean like their Egyptian Falcon logo that I was looking?
Yeah, that's one way to describe it. But like, I don't know what
Damn
exactly
hieroglyphics
they're gonna do with it. Because like, I mean, they could go with the updated, looking like the Seahawks, Browns, and formerly the Bucs. But I don't think they would do that. I don't know.
All right, let's go ahead and just start from the top. Let's go over to Major League Baseball, because they have been the league that kind of start back up the whole, hey, we may find a way to get back relatively soon. And it's looking like May has been the talk so far, but it's going to be in Arizona. I don't know if you guys caught that part.
I don't think that's even the biggest thing.
It's a baseball state right there.
So pretty much sources told ESPN that they're trying to see if they can start early as May, and it has support of high-ranking federal public health officials who believe the league can safely operate amid the pandemic.
I think like the biggest thing going with them with that as well, besides the fact that you said the federal health officials, is also like, I mean, it's really really early, but like this past weekend there was a drop in the curve, so I don't know if that's just timing or what, but they could definitely use that to their advantage as well.
Well, I think the biggest thing is what the things they're trying to do. You know, no an electronic strike zone, no umpires, no mound visits from the catcher or pitching coach, 7-inning doubleheaders to make a full season, and then and this is the funniest part. The players will be sitting in the stands 6 feet apart, so they won't be in the dugout, but they're going to be in the stands 6 feet apart.
That would go down as the greatest MLB season in history.
Yeah, if they do this, it's gonna be wild.
So
and they're also gonna have microphones for players.
I'm just saying this is all a plan by Manfred to try and save face, because he had a PR nightmare with the Astros. Now he could be the first league to start back up. He will be like the savior of sports.
I mean, somewhat. The MLBPA is also working with them. So
You said it was gonna be in Arizona?
Yeah.
Arizona's one spot.
What's the favoritism with the Southwest states? Why don't they go to like Montana or like Alaska?
Probably
There's some
because
prejudice against all these other states.
Probably because one, they have a dome, and two, because it's kind of like I feel like there aren't the population.
If you want isolation, they should go to
isolation.
Like Alaska and just play.
Why?
They're serious,
but they also need parks.
Yeah, why? Why in the world from Major League Baseball, the first state you thought of was Montana and not Minnesota? You know, the one state that had an actual baseball team.
They have a lot of people there. Montana's partially populated.
But Davis,
they're not allowing people in. I don't think that's the problem.
Davis, I cannot believe last week you were like, man, Jay Williams is an idiot for putting basketball on cruise ships. So now you're like, let's put the entire MLB in Montana. No.
That's still a stupid idea. Don't get it twisted.
I know. That was kind of a joke.
It's don't get me wrong. It still is. And it's funny. After you said that, I actually saw the article where Jay Williams talked about it. And I was like, oh.
Just everybody wants to go to Vegas and Arizona. They're just trying to gamble. They're not trying to play games.
Okay. I guess the thing about Phoenix, I'm reading it, and there's 10 spring training facilities nearby.
Yeah.
So, like,
I mean,
you have at least 11 stadiums.
They could come to Bay Bears.
Perhaps other nearby.
Just saying.
No, nobody
come to the Hank Aaron Stadium.
No, nobody wants to go there. Nobody wanted to go there when it was still a thing. They don't want to go there now.
Because Bay Bears were terrible. Okay?
Exactly.
No, they actually weren't that bad. People just didn't go.
But
I wonder why.
yeah, I mean, Arizona hosted. Wait, are they the Grapefruit League? Or they're the Cactus?
Yeah, no.
Wait.
Grapefruit is they're the desert or Cactus League.
Yeah,
Cactus
they're Cactus League. Sorry, my
Grapefruit League.
my
That's Florida.
That's Florida.
Florida's a great.
I got it right, but wrong state. Yeah. So they can host, the Cactus League, and they can host all these teams. I think it's the best bet. Now, you said 7-inning games. That's only for doubleheaders. It'll be 9 innings for all the other games.
I don't know. It doesn't specifically say, but I think it's just saying that 7-inning doubleheaders will be included. Like, it doesn't specifically say. Just so which will, with an earlier than expected start date, could allow baseball to come closer to a full 162 game season. So I don't think they'll do it the whole year because you don't have to, but they'll do it for like whenever there's a 4-game series. I think that'd be a big time to use it.
I thought it was gonna be a big thing that baseball was gonna shorten all their games to 7 innings because
That's like a high school game.
it is. I mean, that's high school. That's college softball. I know that's different, but just throwing it out there from a time standpoint. Baseball's always struggled with the whole. Oh my goodness, this game will take 3.5 hours, right?
Yeah.
And now
Are they gonna
I
eject players if they're not 6 feet apart? They're gonna come by and measure them.
You get a warning and then you get ejected.
Do you think they go to instant replay for that?
Oh. He was seen scooting closer to his teammate. That's an automatic ejection next time it happens.
See somebody.
Well,
Okay, I thought it was just me there for a second.
See somebody turn around and. I just want to see somebody turn around and argue with an electronic umpire.
so
Terrible ball.
Is there a machine there, or is it just like a camera just watching everything? There's not an actual machine sitting there, is there? Because they already tested
That's just a
They already tested
liability.
this
Yeah.
once.
It's probably a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a machine.
It's like how ESPN now has like the digital strike zone, or if it's all through a whole system that some poor sap has to run. But either way,
I will say though, there are all these radical changes. Is it worth it to just get the season off the ground, or would you rather have it postponed further?
I mean, if they can get it started, this seems if the FDA, the federal health officials are okay with it. I mean, I say go for it. I mean, the UFC, we're going to talk about it later, obviously. The UFC's got their thing.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Golf is coming back at some point. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I feel like it's okay.
Look, here's the underlying thing that's happening with Major League Baseball and the NBA. It is a race to see who can get back first because ratings will be through the roof. And let's be honest,
that's true.
Money talks. And people are losing money. And people
Sure,
just people.
No, let's get back on TV.
Some people. And money's gonna be a big factor right now. People want to get back to normalcy. B, get back to making money. C, need something off of their mind. And whoever gets back first is gonna be that beacon, right? Whether that's the NBA, which the NBA, I mean, we can go ahead and just quickly talk about that only because it was talked about a couple of days ago. I don't know where it's went since then, but the NBA was in discussions with, I believe, their own player association about, ending the season early, right? And what that would mean for like contracts and things like that. Because for the NBA, it's a little bit different, right? The players are a lot more closer together. They need to figure out a way. I know they're looking at a way for rapid testing for the virus after NBA games and officials and stuff like that. But it looks like it's a lot easier for baseball to come back than for basketball. That's kind of what gives baseball the upper hand.
We should take a time out and applaud the Golden State Warriors for wasting a completely pointless and useless season. They're going to come back next year with a top pick in the draft, Andrew Wiggins, a healthy Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. They're probably going to make the Western Conference Finals. So, I mean, come on. They're playing chess.
Plus, 5D chess, man.
If the season ends, their final streak will be continued, and the Spurs will technically have not made the playoffs. So their streak
that's the real reason why I'm here, for the Spurs streak. But the NBA's, they're kicking around some ideas, but for right now, it's just kind of on hold for the NBA. As they said, they said they're going to reconvene in May and figure out, all right, where are we at? Which, let's be honest, I guess nobody really knows at this point where everybody's going to be at. We'll see. Now, for a sport that is definitely thinking outside the box, and by outside the box, probably outside the continental United States,
is... Are you talking about the cruise ships?
No.
Different.
Even better.
Is UFC.
Oh my gosh.
So Dana White was like, look, these fights got to happen. What's the best way we can do this? What if I rent/buy an island? And we just have the fights there. So
I think it's a great idea.
Best thing is that it's going to work because Dana White's going to make it work because he's one of the best. I mean, in terms of active sports commissioners which are constantly trying to improve and better their product, I mean, he's probably the best. And he built that sport from the ground up, and now he's going to do it again. And just be – I mean – it's a good idea. I think it's ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds like a plot from a movie, but it's a great idea.
Where do you go and find an island to rent/buy? Do you go to like Craigslist or like?
I mean, you have as much money as he has.
If you could just find a random island in the Pacific Ocean, nobody's gonna come stop you.
Islands near me. Search.
I mean, and how much is that gonna cost? Is it gonna be worth it at the end? I mean, I guess it will be worth it. I still ain't buying no dang pay-per-views though, that's for sure. It should be in the ESPN Plus subscription, but that's a different story.
The thing is though, you say it's going to be worth it, and that's a good point because like you've got to buy the island, you've got to presumably build at least a couple octagons, of course. Then I'm assuming you're probably not going to build any stadiums, so it's just some octagons right on an island, and then it seems strange, but if it works, it's going to be the best idea. I mean, anyone's ever had. Like, it's genius if it works.
It's gonna be the best idea of this whole pandemic for sure. But I don't know. It's one of those things where I understand because everyone's like, oh, why can't you just do it somewhere in the United States? You can't get the international people in, so I mean, I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, when he said that, I didn't even think about that until he said that, and I was like, oh man, that's really is like because that's one of the biggest problems. Like, because with the MLB and all them, all their players are in the United States, and like it's not really much of an issue. But like for the UFC and for other sports like that, that's a big problem. And him finding a way around it is genius.
Time out.
Yeah.
Where are the Blue Jays at? Are they gonna be okay? I assume they're.
That's an interesting point.
I assume they're gonna let them in, right? $1 billion baseball team. We can let them pass the border, but do the Blue Jays have to forfeit this season, or what's going on with them?
If it'll be hilarious if like everybody thinks it's for inclusion, then just at the last second they're like, no, we're not letting the Blue Jays in, and it's just like,
no, we're not letting the Blue Jays in, and then that's when the real war with Canada starts. Is when the Blue Jays didn't get in to a shortened baseball season. I just thought about that, like, because like UFC, like they got fighters all over the world. For baseball, it's the Blue Jays, and I guess if players flew back to the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, wherever they may be, now Puerto Rico they should be fine to get back to continental United States, but like Dominican Republic, I don't know. Cuba, I don't know. I assume they're not going to get back in. That's probably the same problem that hockey should be fine because everybody was in the United States unless they went back home. I don't know, but buying a private island, I mean.
Like Greg Hardy's a part of UFC 249.
When is that supposed to take place?
Next Saturday.
And is it going to happen on the island or where is it going to?
Yeah, UFC 249 will be on a private island.
Dana White's the best.
Does they already have it lined up? I mean,
he tweeted. Did you not see his tweet yesterday? He said the fight is signed and it's 100% on live on ESPN somewhere on Earth. Live on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, April 18th for the interim lightweight belts.
That's a very ominous, like, somewhere on Earth.
Somewhere on Earth. I mean,
what if it's on the moon?
No live audience. There better be a good background.
Yeah, and if you said it's going to be live on ESPN, that means it's not going to be on pay-per-view?
No, it is on pay-per-view. Yeah, At first, he said on ESPN, and at the end, it's pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Man, I was hoping to catch some UFC for free because of this.
It is going to be the most illegally streamed event ever. Like, there's really nothing that tops it. I mean, I don't think it's a bold statement to say that at all.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I can't imagine. I couldn't imagine what football was going to be like. I can't imagine what... baseball. Well, I can't imagine baseball's gonna be like with no fans because people already don't show up. But I can't imagine football. I can't imagine basketball's already tough. But UFC with like nobody there and you just hear a lot of grunting and like people hitting each other. Like,
yeah, when you just hear that,
as long as Joe Rogan is screaming his head off,
he said he wasn't gonna do it.
Really?
He said he would not commentate it if they went on with it. Last time I checked.
Man. So, yeah, now we're just going to get that's the thing is, like...
2 hours ago, Dana White says he will.
Wait, what?
So, 2 hours... So, yeah, Dana White
Joe
says, yeah. I don't think Joe knows what Dana Oh, my.
Dana's gonna drop $5 million at Joe Rogan's doorstep and also tell all of the world that he's going to be doing it just to pressure him into it. I mean, again, smart move. It's not dumb. I mean, yeah, like, because even like if the fans aren't constantly making noise at the UFC fights, there's like always like a hum or like a buzz of people making noise in some kind, and now there's going to be nothing. And when the knockouts happen, it's going to be silence.
WWE?
I did.
Did you watch the wrestling events?
I did.
Did you watch the WWE event?
I did.
It was interesting.
I saw it. It was
different. Look, that's what you got to do in these situations. With no fans, no crowd. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and like one of their matches, they didn't do it in the ring. They did it like at this televised set, and they filmed it for 8 hours and like cut it together to like compromise the fact there were going to be no fans. Not the worst idea.
So let's go ahead and jump to the NFL because Alex, I know you're going to love this headline.
Oh,
Ron Rivera said.
Already a good start.
Would only deal number 2 pick if a, quote, high impact, end quote, player is available with return and trade.
Okay, yeah, that's like the best thing he said since he got here. So
That's kind of like an obvious thing to say, though. What if he went?
That's true.
Yeah, we traded for anything. 5th round
thing
pick.
is,
He
keeps like he'll say like one thing. I'm like, oh man, I like it, and there's times I'm like, okay, you gotta chill out now.
That's the riverboat part of his name, Alex.
It's like because there's times where I'm like, okay, he's not making a bunch of stupid decisions like pre-Ron Rivera. The GM would just sign random people, and the coach would be like, we don't want him, and the GM would be like, I don't know.
So
and then Snyder was everywhere.
The one team that's been rumored as a trade partner is the Miami Dolphins. Remember, the Dolphins have what I believe to be 30 draft picks in this draft, 3 first-round picks. So, I mean, if giving up Chase Young meant you would get maybe 2 first-round picks and a couple others, would that be worth it, Alex?
I want all 3.
That may be
and
too
even
much.
then, I wouldn't make that trade.
It's greedy. See, Redskins
Yes, I am.
fan, all right.
Well, because see, we were spurned when we gave up, the next 7 drafts in the future to get RG3. So now we think the second, because the last time the Redskins were near the 2nd pick was then. So now, with that perspective of the Rams could literally steal the future, then we should be able to get something for Chase Young. And I mean, the reason you have to ask for that much is because, the Redskins have a lot of pieces that need,
I'm telling y'all have to get something up to get all 3 draft picks.
Man,
y'all don't have much to give up.
And that's true. That's true. We also don't have a 2nd-round pick this year.
They trade Kyle Allen.
I'll do it.
Oh, that's a lot of leverage right there.
The thing is,
we have the MVP.
It really all depends on – the Redskins can do nothing, and it just depends on what Tua keeps doing and how everybody reacts to what Tua is doing. Because the Dolphins are going to paranoid themselves into a corner to where they're going to be like, okay, we've got to get Tua. Because Tua looks better and better with every single video, every single clearance by a doctor. And a team like the Lions, they could consider drafting Tua because Matthew Stafford is old and they're going in no direction at this point. And if that happens, then the Dolphins are going to freak out.
He's not that old.
He's 30.
I'm about to say he was a quarterback for Georgia in 2007. So
I know, but 32 is not that old.
Yeah, but 32 for a team that has no general direction. Are you just going to waste another 3 years with a quarterback that doesn't have a future?
Alex,
and to be fair, didn't he get sidelined like a back injury?
Alex, I have a question for you.
He's also very injury prone. That's a good point. What?
Is Dwayne Haskins' potential wasted, or was Dwayne Haskins' potential wasted by the Redskins? This is from Will.
I don't think so. I think he's going to play next year.
Is that a good thing?
Is
that a good thing for the Redskins?
The Redskins
are not move on from Dwayne Haskins. The
Redskins are not going to draft a quarterback. If they trade back, they're going to take Isaiah Simmons with the first pick.
What if
their first pick?
I've heard rumors, Alex. Rumors.
They're not taking a quarterback.
Okay.
Well, we have no defensive backs, no linebackers, no offensive line. Why
don't we have Kyle Allen? There is a QB battle that's going to happen.
I'm just saying. You put that away. I'm just saying that last year we saw a quarterback move during the draft out from their team. Wasn't Rosen traded during the draft? Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah. Rosen who?
Rosen.
Oh yeah, the Rosen one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was traded during the draft. I don't know if the Redskins are in that situation where, yeah, we'll give up Haskins and get a pick so we can pick up somebody else like Herbert or maybe Jordan Love. I don't know if the Redskins are in that boat.
They're not going to give him up.
I don't know.
I feel bad for Rosen because he's going to get shipped out again.
Oh yeah,
he sucks.
I know that, but like he's going into 2 places to get replaced by a young quarterback. And he's going to get shipped out somewhere else.
Josh Rosen to me reminds me of like Kellen Mond. They were both felt the same in college. Where like all I heard about is, oh man, watch out for these guys each year. And then like UCLA would go 7-6, and I'd be like, okay.
Well, when they played each other, Texas A&M
that was the greatest. They did.
Yeah,
that was the best game ever. But with the exception of that,
UCLA made a comeback.
Yeah, and then it wasn't Gus Johnson on the call.
Yes, he was.
And then he did like the Dan Marino fake spike at the end to win or whatever. That was great. But other than that, it just felt like I was like, okay, I've heard about this kid since he was a freshman. Is he going to be great? And then he never really was that great. And he's in the draft. It's like, oh man, you better draft him high. He's going to be great in the NFL. And then circumstances affected him, such as the Cardinals being the worst team ever.
Mhm.
But like, it's like I feel like if he really was as great as he should have been, he would have been given an opportunity, not shipped around so much. Even though the Cardinals were terrible.
So he went from Cardinals to Dolphins. Is he still with the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well that's not gonna
It's
last.
him and Fitzpatrick.
It's not gonna last for long. Because
true.
once Tua is drafted, I assume he's third on that list.
They need
That's
to
true,
trade
but that
him
also
for
depends on Tua's
something.
if Tua's going to play at all,
Yeah.
like, based on his injury. 'Cause
Nope.
then they
He
would
said
keep
he's ready to play, but
Injury-
I don't think he should.
IR Tua is still second on that list in front of Rosen.
No, I mean I agree, but he's still going to stay on the roster if Tua doesn't play.
Yeah.
So speaking of the draft, let's talk about how they're moving the draft digitally. So it's gonna be like the XFL draft that we watched back in the suite. That was horribly put
Oh my
together.
God.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Terrible. Get out of here. That was amazing.
Yeah. We could have put together a better virtual draft.
I mean,
What-
okay. Oh, when you put it that way, yes.
Yes.
The entertainment factor was there, though.
It was funny for what it was, but we'll see. I can't
Well, I'm
imagine.
just mad because they had it in they were going to have it in Las Vegas, and they were going to have them on the boat and drive them out on the boat to the stage.
Well, they can do something different now. They can.
Oh my gosh, I wish
I
we
don't
could have
know.
seen that. And the
Unfortunately,
monkeys
that
on
was-
stage choosing.
it was just the red. That was just the red carpet. It wasn't to put them on stage because they were gonna get the boat was gonna take him to the green room. So it wasn't gonna take him from the green room.
I was really
to
looking
the
forward to a
thing.
boat malfunction.
Did you guys hear that unless some teams are concerned, other teams are going to hack in and mess up their stuff for the virtual draft?
I mean,
I
hope
saw
so.
that like an hour before.
Bill Belichick's gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Teams start hiring hackers to mess up their picks. With the second pick,
Yeah.
they choose someone that
The
should not.
Reds can select.
And like from a perspective,
Herbert.
what happens if like the whole thing just shuts down? Like what if the infrastructure goes down? Right? Like what happens at that point? And it's virtual, so like what do they mean by virtual? I know they said they're making the picks at like their houses and stuff like that. But when they said virtual, I was thinking like
I think that's
they're
more,
gonna do it
honestly,
through Madden or something like that.
No, I think it seems more like the teams have to be virtual. I don't think they're all gonna be on like one call together, but they'll basically have to like
Yeah.
GM number one is gonna have to call in to Goodell or whoever, no, obviously not Goodell, but whoever it is, and tell them, and then so on and so on. It's more about the teams not getting together and risking their health and having an unfair advantage over other teams that don't risk their health to get together.
I thought that we were about to get 7 rounds of like goofy Monday Night Football graphics because I'm all here for that.
No.
I'm all here for it. I'd watch that. But on top of the NFL going virtual, there's one thing that needs to be done before the draft, and that is the Cardinals Texans trade, which apparently is not finished. It has not
No,
been
it's not.
finalized. And I found that interesting because I just assumed it was already finalized. It's not. And Cliff Kingsbury came out earlier today and was talking about how he believes the trade will be done before the April 23rd draft, but it hasn't been done yet. And
Maybe there's still hope for Cardinals fans.
maybe Texans
I mean,
fans,
Texans, I
yeah,
mean Texans.
forget
Texans,
the
I'm sorry, I'm
Cardinals,
sorry.
yeah. For Texans fans who,
Bill O'Brien could actually save his job.
well, if you want to save his job, but there may be some hope for Texans fans who were pretty much going to abandon the team, and we already saw the cryptic tweets by Deshaun Watson that it looks like it took everybody by surprise, that trade, but we'll see what happens with that trade between the Cardinals and the Texans, and I don't know, that stupid trade.
I will say though, who do you guys think is the best prospect in the draft?
I mean, how is it not Chase
Chase Young.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I feel like it's
Simmons
Chase.
is good. Dude, I like Isaiah Simmons a lot. I think he's going to be great in the NFL.
I was going to be an Auburn fan and just say Derek Brown.
I mean, I think
He still has to develop his pass rushing to be that.
That's true.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe he'll develop it in Carolina. Who knows? Which seems like to be the foregone conclusion that he's going to Carolina. Out goes Cam, in comes Derek Brown, right? At least I guess that's a positive way to look at it.
Yes.
Also, in the NFL, before we leave the NFL, Hard Knocks, not just one team. We're getting double dose. Rams.
And Bengals.
Wait, I thought it was Chargers.
I don't know,
Chargers.
I was guessing.
Oh, no. You should have knew when it was one team. It would have been the other one. Rams and Chargers will be your Hard Knocks teams. Because, obviously, they're moving to their new stadium together. And when does Hard Knocks start filming? Exactly?
It's like in July.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
will say
we'll see how that goes.
Like, we already had the Rams when they moved to LA, but could you pick two more uninteresting teams?
No.
Like, the
No.
Chargers, who is on the Chargers that I want to watch?
I could pick a more or less interesting team than the Rams or the Chargers. The Redskins.
No, the Redskins are so dysfunctional it'd be interesting.
I was about to say, and Chase Young. At least we have that.
The Chargers and Rams just are boring.
They're just like there's nothing going on in the Chargers that's
Titans.
exciting.
The Titans would be way more boring.
Let's go ahead and
But even
pause.
then, seeing Derrick Henry truck over people in training camp would be fun.
Let's go ahead and pause for a second and go ahead and get the news out that Obi Toppin has been named the John Wooden Award winner for most outstanding player. Just announced just moments ago. So there you go.
He's a baller, deservedly so.
He's a baller. So
Nobody's topping him for the best player of the year.
Boo!
On my face with that.
not really.
By the way, before we move out of the NFL, someone leaked the Falcons jerseys like 30 minutes ago.
I just sent it to everybody. I forgot that you weren't in that group chat.
Yeah, I'll share
Is
it.
it the one that
Oh,
Boyd
you
quoted?
disabled it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, those are awful.
So okay, so they're not going back to the hieroglyphic Falcon logo, which is probably a good thing.
But they have a trash gradient red jersey, which is awful.
I can't. Let's see. Is it gradient?
Yes. If you look in the replies, if you're on the actual tweet,
Oh, okay.
then you can see there's a picture with a gradient. And it's
Oh
terrible.
no! Oh my
it's really
goodness! Hold up. Let me. No.
Oh, no.
I won't do that. I won't do that. Oh my goodness! Oh, that's all right. Worst uniform in the NFL. Go. Who is it now? If that's if that's true, man.
Wait, worse
I mean,
what?
Uniforms in the NFL.
The black isn't that bad.
Wait, where'd you see that,
The
Jacob?
thing is,
Where'd you
it's
see that
like,
grader?
It
So if you go on the
feels-
actual tweet and go in the replies, someone reply with a picture, and you can see the back of the red jersey and it's gradient.
the thing is that it feels just pointless. Like
Yeah.
they don't look so much.
Yeah. That one.
Oh, I
Different.
think they're trying to go
You know
for
what
the
I'm
they're
saying?
trying to go for the Jazz jersey.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
did the Jags do that, or their helmet just
The
did
Jazz.
He
Jazz.
said
Oh,
Jags,
Jazz.
but the Jags helmet did do that.
Somebody replied. Somebody replied and they said they're gonna be showing up looking like the Mean Machine off The Longest Yard.
Yeah. Someone just replied with a gif of them.
that? Like, okay, worst uniforms. If that is their uniform, that may be the worst one.
I don't think that's the worst one.
Who has the worst one then?
The thing is, the gradient is bad, but like the other two are not that bad.
That's
The
true.
Browns are still bad.
The Browns are
Browns
consistently
are
awful.
pretty bad.
It was the Bucs still today.
Yeah, I was about to say the Bucs have taken themselves out of the conversation. They're just in the middle of the
I
pack
just
right now.
I
The
Jaguars
Jets are
are-
pretty bad too. The Jets redid their jerseys.
Hey,
They're
the
pretty
Jags have like the simple solid color ones now.
Yeah.
bad. No, the Jets.
Oh, the Jets are still the worst jersey change I've ever seen because they got rid of the shoulder pad colors, which I thought was like the coolest thing because it was just
here's my
what the
thing.
Jets did.
Here's why I am biased against gradient. Okay, it seems like someone went to Microsoft PowerPoint and just added a gradient to a color and it called it a day. I don't think there's any situation where gradient looks good. Right, the Jazz may be an exception because they kind of do a decent job at it, but other than that, I don't want to see gradient. I don't like. I don't think it works well. Maybe that's just me.
What in y'all's opinion is the worst change by any team?
This
Can
year,
we talk about this?
I don't remember if we did.
if that's
Have we
the
talked about like worst like brand? We talked about brand because you were talking about the Rams.
I still think the worst change is the Jets because I don't think the Jets' old jersey. I mean, the Jets' jerseys were like they had the same jersey since the '60s. And then they just were like, nope.
I don't really mind the Jets, to be quite honest.
I don't like the Jets ones.
It's whatever. But the Falcons are probably the worst ones. If we're talking about changes this year, it's the Falcons, definitely.
This year, it's the freaking Rams, the whole brand.
The logo is still the logo, but the Rams is still the worst change by any team of anything.
That can be bad, but they didn't do a gradient, and that's at the end of the day, that's what gets me.
Jared,
right?
what do you think of the Jazz gradient? Is that one bad?
Let me get it. Let me actually get like the Jazz.
Where they
gradient
changed the court too, where they have it match the court.
Mm-hmm.
I like that jersey.
I mean, because that comes based off of the
sunset.
Yeah, so that's different. That's
like a normal gradient. It's like something you don't.
It's a good gradient.
Not so yeah, that's all. That's true. It's good.
I feel like for them, there's a reason why they did a gradient because it goes off the sunset. The Falcons.
But you don't like Atlanta. You don't like Atlanta sunsets, Jared.
There's no
That's like the main reason people go to Atlanta.
There's no sunsets in Atlanta. It's just crashes and burns. Okay.
Dang.
Don't make me bring up all the Atlanta teams and their failures in postseason. Okay.
Ooh. Georgia Tech.
What? No one cares about Georgia.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you got the Falcons in the Super Bowl collapse. You got the Braves in general collapse. The Thrashers, rest in peace. I don't know if they made the playoffs. I just threw them out there. The Hawks. Atlanta may be the leading. Atlanta may be the leading city now in bad jerseys because only the Braves have decent jerseys. Only the Braves have good jerseys now. The Braves jerseys are good. Everybody else, I don't care about the Hawks jerseys.
Me neither.
All right, going from the NFL. Let's see. We went to college basketball, and if you missed the news, Obi Toppin named the Wooden Award winner. I believe. Let's see. Luke Garza was second, if anybody cared.
Really?
Yes.
Man, he kind of tore up the Big Ten, though. Like, if you go back and look at what he did.
Yeah. So.
Then again, the Big Ten tore up the Big Ten at some point during the season. So.
What I wanted to look at was two things. So, because at this point, you kind of have to just throw it out there. I'm trying to see if I can find it. They put out odds for next year, and I didn't open it because I wanted to dive into it with you guys. Let me see if I can find the article where they talked about college football odds.
All right, so the win numbers.
Yes.
Cole Kulik posted them. I can find that. For the SEC, it's got Alabama at 10.5, Arkansas at 3.5, Auburn at 8.5, Florida at 9.5, Georgia at 10.5, Kentucky 6.5, LSU 9.5, Missouri 5.5, Mississippi State 6.5, Ole Miss 5.5, South Carolina 5.5, Tennessee 7.5, A&M 9.5, and Vandy 3.5. So obviously the big ones: Auburn 8.5, Alabama 10.5. Georgia at 10.5, Florida at 9.5, LSU at 9.5, and A&M at 9.5.
Look, we all know the story.
Hammer the under.
We all know the story with A&M, right? Shoot high, come under expectations.
Yep. I will say though, if Auburn does get those 8 wins, Gus will go to second all time and the all time Auburn winnings list at 101. He'll pass Pat Dye and Mike Donahue if he gets 8. Then they'll have 70.
Tuberville out on that list?
Tuberville is at. Shoot, I saw this. I think because Gus is at 93 right now. I'm gonna have to look it up because I cannot remember.
I guess the big thing I'm looking at it right now as you look that up. Texas A&M has an easy schedule. They have up with Abilene Christian, North Texas, Colorado is their Power 5 opponent, and then they play Fresno State.
Let's go Buffs.
So they really don't. They have 4 wins unless they just come out of nowhere and play awful this year.
So I found the notable game or notable teams with their win totals. We went through all the SEC teams. Clemson. I didn't know what that was for a second. Okay, you guys didn't hear that, but that was Outlook. Clemson 11.5. They're favored to win the ACC by a substantial margin, as you could imagine. Michigan 9, Notre Dame 9, Ohio State 11, Oklahoma 10, Oregon 9.5, and USC 8. 8 wins. You said Auburn was 8.5 wins.
They are.
I'm taking the under. 8 wins.
See, I don't know. I'm trying to not, buy into the whole coronavirus affecting things, but I think it affects Auburn more than it does most teams. Thank God Auburn doesn't have a new quarterback, because then things would be a complete disaster, I think. But, having a new offensive coordinator and stuff, that makes things difficult, because you don't get to implement that system in the spring the way you would like. Obviously, they can study the playbook, but they can't really practice it.
Did the SEC? Because I remember them talking about this. This is like a week and a half ago. They didn't technically cancel spring practice, did they?
No,
Yes,
the schools did it, didn't they?
The SEC did.
They did?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember them canceling the games, right? They canceled all spring sports. And
Yeah,
then,
they basically canceled everything through the end of May, because they also canceled the spring meetings, which happens in May.
Gotcha. Okay. So there's your win totals from all these college football teams that we got into. Let's go ahead and talk about something real quick that happened last week, but we never really got into it because we kind of just ran out of time. But a Mississippi State lineman entered the transfer portal, and Jared, why does that even matter? I don't know if you guys saw. Look, we know Mike Leach is a weird person, okay?
Yeah.
I saw this. Oh my gosh.
And he does things that sometimes make us laugh, and it's whatever. Okay. Have you guys seen the tweet? That's now been deleted.
I read an article that talked about the tweet, but I didn't see it.
Has anybody here not seen or know what we're talking about? Davis. Okay. Who can break it down the best way possible?
The Let's see, hold on, let me find it.
I'm trying
It's basically about a noose.
Yes.
So the image depicted an elderly woman with knitting sticks in her hands. The caption read, "After 2 weeks of quarantine with her husband, Gertrude decided to knit him a scarf." Basically saying he was going to hang him.
Interesting.
And I don't think we need to go. I don't think we need to go into detail about why that may not have been the best thing to tweet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially from a school in the South that may or may not.
State of Mississippi.
Yeah, that may or may not.
However,
rub some people the wrong way.
This is a coach coming from about the farthest point away from Mississippi that he can get in the entire country, Washington State.
That is fair. Just know your surroundings and know the history of maybe where you're at.
And of course, Mike Leach probably is very, what's the word? Not. I'm saying the fact that he's very sort of carefree and he'll say what's on his mind.
He doesn't think before he speaks.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yes. Which can sink you faster than you can probably even realize. Final thing that I have is that obviously with college basketball being over, by the way, last night would have been the national championship, rest in peace, in Atlanta. Look, it is what it is, guys. You can get the Final Four shirts for discounted now. If they're still
you go to the
there.
Atlanta airport and get them.
Yeah. Probably just giving them away at this point.
I don't want one.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, that's a special shirt because it's a Final Four that never happened. Think about it.
Cool.
That's cool, actually, if you think about it.
It's like if you buy an Olympic shirt for this year, it's the 2020 Olympics that never happened.
Yeah, it's like, how did you get... It's like people, 50 years from now, can be like, how did you get that? It never actually happened. And they were like, man, you should have been alive for that time, man.
The only difference is, the Olympics, it just looks like a typo because it happens next year. The 2020 Final Four never happened. That sounds weird to say, but, the Olympics were pushed back.
Here's a side question before you get started, Jared. So since the Olympics are in 2021 next year, are they still going to be in 2024 for the next Summer Olympics,
Yes.
or do those get pushed back?
Those will be 2024.
Yeah, I think they're not pushing anything around. So
There's a reason they can't do Atlanta next year for the Final Four. It's because you can't
They already set the schedule.
It's so
Yeah.
it's all things are hotels are talked to and that whole 2-week period or whatever. I guess for the Final Four, the whole weekend and the week before and the week after are kind of set in stone. This is where we're gonna block everything off.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Did you guys hear what Mike Gundy said about college football next year?
I was gonna say something about there's so many coaches in the news right now. Dabo started it, but he wasn't
Dabo's going on vacation now.
Gundy and Mike Leach are. Ooh. And then, of course, did you see the anonymous quote about trips?
I did not see that, but I
say what you're saying about Mike Gundy.
Gundy says we need to have a meeting, and then this is where the quote gets interesting. He says, in my opinion, we need to bring our players back. They're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds, and they are healthy, and they have the ability to fight this virus off. If that is true, then we sequester them and continue because we need to run money through the state of Oklahoma.
Wait, so did he just say screw the system? Let's get them back together? Is that what he just said, or did I
more or less?
Did I just misheard that?
He's peddling the information that the youth are not threatened by the virus, which is up for debate lately because more and more young people keep getting severely sick with it. But he is going off of the information.
Evolving,
initially.
Alex.
What?
Evolving.
Okay, Daves. All right. And then, of course, Dabo basically said, "Oh, we're all fine," and now he went on 2 separate trips. So good for him. But what were you gonna say, Jake?
So there's this anonymous Power 5 coach, and he is funny. He got really mad, and so this is the quote: "It's putting so many receivers on one side of the ball, going as fast as you can. That kind of trick and deception. Is that a good look?" He said, his voice rising. So there's your argument. Okay, don't lie on the ground and fake an injury. So the question was about faking an injury.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, don't do this bull crap. It's not football. That's trick them. Are we trying to trick people or fundamentally try to teach them how to play the game? So basically, he was really mad. It's a defensive coach, clearly, about people getting mad about players faking injuries because, offensive coaches use a trips formation. So then he went on and said, okay, all the trick them, expletive. Is that what we want it to look like? We want to win because we trick you to continue, or are we going to beat you because we're physical, we're tough, we outrun you, got great talent, make a great catch, whatever it is. The game is great, but let's face it, a lot of this college football stuff in certain leagues is a joke. It's a joke. We're going to score because we trick you better than others. I personally don't want to spend my time tricking people. So he basically thinks every, offensive concept is a trick, and it's not really, being better at football.
That person needs to get out the house. That's what they need to do.
The thing is that's
tricks
such
are a
an,
good part of football. Also,
that's such an ignorant and just stupid thing to say because anytime there's any sort of evolution in the game, especially specifically on the offensive side, everybody's like, it's not football. Remember when Gus introduced the no huddle in 2013? Every coach that he beat with it was like, what? Didn't Saban say something stupid?
The RPO. That's what it was. It was the RPO. He was really mad about the tying touchdown in the Iron Bowl, and other teams started using it. I think it was the Seahawks that used it, and they called it the Auburn play. So it's one of those things where some coaches are going to get mad, but if it's something that works, enough coaches are going to use it that it eventually just becomes a part. Alabama started using it next year because they had Blake Sims at quarterback, and he was so good at running it. And Lane Kiffin came in as offensive coordinator, so he actually is okay with, evolutionizing an offense. So it's one of those things where, a coach might complain about it, but it doesn't matter because it's going to keep the game is going to continue to evolve and become better. So,
and plus the real time that I think where true trick 'em plays were used is I think of when Boise State beat Oklahoma in that Fiesta Bowl off the Statue of Liberty and a hook and ladder play, and nobody.
Who cares? It's
exactly.
A trick play is a trick play. If it's so risky that if you can't defend it, that means they executed that trick play really well.
Plus, that was such an awesome moment, so I'll certainly take it.
6 minutes. I guess we can.
Jared, you can tell us your favorite food? Is that what you're doing?
No. Yes. Jared.
So So, ESPN came out with your way too early March Madness bracket for the 2021 season.
Oh,
because, I mean...
What the hell? Why?
They're bored.
There's
They're
so
tired of
much
listening to
stuff that has
Ron.
not been answered. Kids that were going to declare for the draft could stay in college because of any number of reasons, because of all the stuff that's happening. That's hilarious.
So, I'm trying to find...
Where's Auburn seated? Probably like an 8.
I don't know where it's actually at. Is it right here?
If Auburn could be a 5 seed this year with this team, they should be higher than an 8 next year.
No, I agree, but I just...
No, I mean, yeah,
don't-
but
right now I don't expect the predictions to be very high.
I also agree with that.
I don't know if there's actually a bracket with this. I think there may just be like talking about it.
Well, that's no fun.
That's no fun.
So, Jared,
What?
your favorite food?
You really
It's
want
a simple answer, yes.
You really want to go down this road?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, why not? We have 5 minutes.
It's barbecue.
No, I found it, Jared. There's a bracket.
All right, I think I found it too.
Yeah, you have to click bracketology. It's April 5th, 2020. Oh my
Okay,
Lord.
so it is the one that I thought it was.
Uh-oh. Is it bad?
Where,
Oh, no.
I can't even find Auburn.
Is that UConn?
Whoa.
Are you looking at the women's?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. UConn can't be up there. They suck.
Creighton's a 1 seed.
Nope.
It's probably in April. Was it April Fool's?
April 5th. Auburn is not in this bracket.
Are you sure
No,
it wasn't like
no,
an
no.
April Fool's joke or something?
Auburn, I'm
I
looking
see.
over it again.
I see LSU. I see South Carolina. I see Colgate. All right, Colgate. Kentucky.
Hey, boosting our schedule from last year. Let's go.
Auburn is not in the schedule.
Auburn's not here.
Miami's in it.
Belmont's in it. Houston. Hey, Western Kentucky. Where are my Hilltoppers at?
This is an
Auburn-
ESPN released bracket, correct?
This is Joe Lenardi.
I thought it was gonna be somebody stupid, but Joe normally seems to know what he's talking about.
Yeah, so UCLA's a 6 seed. Yeah, Louisville at a 7. Tennessee's at a 5.
North Carolina's 5 as well.
North Carolina? Get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, they should bounce back, but I don't know.
I don't
think they're
see
gonna bounce back,
how all of that can be on the bracket and Auburn not, when Bruce Pearl with much less.
He says Rutgers is going to continue its role. 7 seed.
Meanwhile, Auburn
Like how
with
Furman's in
presumably-
there, but we're not.
Auburn with Sharif and presumably Jalen Green will not make the tournament.
I guess that's the point, is that Auburn technically has a bunch of open spots.
Fair.
Auburn's too big of a question mark, I guess.
How does Tennessee jump to a 5 seed next year?
There's 6 SEC teams.
They're gonna
That is
reload.
nuts. 6 SEC teams, but Auburn's not one of them.
And
Wow.
South Carolina
That's-
is.
Tennessee.
Plus, I mean,
He must think Texas gets Greg Brown
Florida.
if they're a freaking 6 seed in the East region.
yeah.
Shaka Smart, 6 seed. Get that out of here.
Dude, we should have played March Madness so we could have gotten Greg Brown.
No,
That's true.
I think that the tournament being canceled saves Shaka Smart. I think we talked about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Saved
did.
his job.
That's what I'm saying, too.
Good.
Shaka would
It
have gotten
cost
fired.
Greg Brown
That's what I'm saying.
for Auburn.
I still don't like. I get it, but I feel like there's a certain level of. I mean, just because I know a coach doesn't make him a good coach. It's like you would go
He's
to
one
a
and
college.
done.
What?
He's a one and done.
That's
I think he's a
true.
one and done. So he wants a good relationship. He wants to get his minutes, get his numbers up, and just show off.
But if you're one and done, why not go to Kentucky?
Because he's from Texas, he wants to stay near home.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't
Shaka.
you can't be a good one and done at Texas. I mean,
That's true.
it's still a
You
big
can-
school.
But you go to Kentucky and be a Carmelo Anthony one and done and win a national championship.
I think Anthony Edwards proved that it doesn't matter.
That is true. That is a good
It
Yeah.
point.
doesn't matter where
And-
you go. to
Yeah,
get one and
and I mean, we're gonna see with
done. LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman.
James Wiseman. There we go.
Yeah.
You're gonna see with James Wiseman. Heck, the man didn't even play a full year, and he'll still be just fine.
I will say the true shift in the one and done was when Harry Giles went to Duke and scored 2 points a game and then got drafted in the top 10. That
Hey.
was the.
That's how you do it.
They don't care. They don't care.
They really don't.
Kyrie
just
played.
like, what
Kyrie
happened?
played like 4 games or something.
The one and done thing is crazy.
I wrote a paper on that. It's a good paper if y'all want to read it.
Full
So,
pass.
Whoa.
Fine, Jake. Fine.
Fine.
well,
Ouch.
I'll
It's-
just read it to y'all next show. How about
No,
that?
no.
please don't.
Mute him.
Nah, I won't even let him in the damn chat. All right. So, is there anything else that we need to talk to before we got to head out of here and go somewhere else?
I mean, I'm good.
You're good? Bay, you doing good?
I'm chilling.
I know, you're just chilling. Davis, you're good to go?
Yeah.
All right.
I will say, let the record show. Jared sent me a Snapchat that said he loved me, so this could be a turn in our
Yeah,
friendship.
no,
Wait,
don't
I got
don't
one of
worry.
those too.
Everybody got that. Yeah.
Wow.
You did.
Don't worry. Everybody
Just
got
expose
that
him.
because everybody got that because I was in a Zoom call for an hour in my defense for grad school and I got grilled, okay? But I came out the other side and I'm alive because you can't kill what's already dead inside, okay?
What do you mean in my defense for grad school? What do you mean?
In grad school, in order to graduate, you have to go through a defense for your thesis or non-thesis, where you sit down for an hour and they ask you questions about the answers that you gave, or they grill you with new questions.
What's your thesis, Jared? I don't get what that is.
I did an internship of that Warrior Productions. The point is, I got to the other side.
Hey,
I passed,
You made it.
and the best thing of all, still didn't wear any pants. We're on day 32, and it's going strong. I want you guys to
day
know
23.
that.
You opened the show saying it was day 23.
You know, I can't
32,
count.
23.
I got to see and find that math. You know, I'm not good at that. All right.
fair.
That does it for the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 and Eagle Eye TV. Thank you guys for watching and listening. For Bay Marks, Davis Carroll, Alex Houston, and Jacob Hillman,